Hi, my name is Heather Patton. I have a local cake business. I've been doing fondant cakes for over 3 years now, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to apply fondant to a cake. I'm starting with an 8-inch round dummy. You can buy those at any cake supply store. You need to measure the top and twice the sides. So I have 8 inches on top, standard is 4 inches on the side. So you've got 8 plus 4 plus 4 is 16 inches. I want to get an idea of how large of an area I need to rub Crisco on. This is a plastic sheet you can buy at any fabric supply store. And you rub Crisco all over it to keep the fondant pliable. You're going to use the inverted side on top of the dummy. You'll kind of see as we go along. I'll just rub a very thin layer of Crisco. It keeps the fondant really pliable when you roll it out and after it's on the dummy. And again, take the Crisco and rub a very thick layer on the sides. Just enough to feel it. And a little on the top. Don't do all the way on the top or you'll create some air bubbles, but definitely on the edges and the sides. I'm using an appropriate amount of fondant based on the size of cake dummy, and just a dab of gel-based food color. You can always add more later. And knead until there's no more streaks of color left and you don't have any creases or cracks. Push it down with your fist so you have a nice level surface to start the rolling pin with. I'm using a French rolling pin. It's tapered at the edges so you don't get the lines in the sides of it. And you don't have to keep picking it up when you use the sheet and the Crisco. If you have any air bubbles, just poke them with the toothpick or something very small and sharp and just push the air out. You want to do it as soon as possible so you don't create a problem later on once it's on the dummy. And then just keep rolling it out until you get to 16 inches. Make sure to measure the length and width and also the diagonals. Need it a little bit more. And we just made it. Now you're going to take the plastic and invert the fondant on top of the dummy. It'll slide around a little, but you can adjust the fondant. It should peel off pretty easily because of the Crisco. And keep pulling it out until you make sure you don't have any edges that are going to be missing any fondant on them. You can just keep adjusting it. Try not to do it too many times or you'll get cracks, and I had to adjust it a couple times on here. Just keep picking it up and moving it over. Just be careful of tears. Start at the top and smooth it out. And then use the side of your hand, just gently push down and in. Want it to stick to the dummy, but you don't want to pull down on it so that it starts tearing. And just smooth it out. You want to push the folds down to the very bottom. And you can use a pizza cutter for this part instead of the X-Acto knife. Just get rid of all that extra so you don't have so much to play with. It's just going to get in your way. Just make sure you don't cut too far in that you end up with a missing spot of fondant. Give yourself an inch or so. And roll up all that extra into a ball and get it out of the way. Try to put it in something so it doesn't dry out. Again, it's a sugar-based fondant, so it dries really easily, which is the nice thing about using the sheet and the Crisco, because if you use the other method of cornstarch straight on the table, it dries out really fast. And you can use a fondant smoother. We're speeding this up so it doesn't take so long, but just keep pushing down on it and you'll see. And just smooth it all the way down so that all the creases are after the bottom. And just take your X-Acto knife all around the bottom. The first couple times you do this, you will probably end up with a couple streaks on the side. That's okay, just keep practicing. You can put some cornstarch on there to make the fondant smoother slide easier. If it catches, it's going to drag the fondant, so you can easily get rid of any white marks caused by the cornstarch by just rubbing a little extra Crisco very lightly on there afterward. An extra step you can take if you're going to see the bottom edge is to just take a simple bowl and lift the cake up, push down on the fondant a little with the smoother, and take the X-Acto knife and run it perfectly along the bottom edge of the cake. This is what a fondant cake can look like if you add a little decoration and a top tier. This isn't the easiest process. The only way you're going to get better is to keep practicing. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me through my website. Thanks, and have a sweet day.